Are we going? I think we're going. Hi, everyone. Imagine being telepathic, returning to the way that we used to be, not in a sci-fi futuristic way, but the ancient sense of communicating through coherence, through resonance, through water, through your field. Now imagine being able to program water with intention, dissolving emotional trauma, activating higher timelines, aligning your body, your business, your relationships, your destiny, just by speaking the right tone or tracing a sacred glyph. These aren't just ideas anymore. These are skills, and they are yours to remember through the flow state technique. This is a 10-year plus mission. You'll learn how to guide others into these spaces or just quietly do this for yourself and in your immediate circle, right? There's no business required to do this work. In fact, a lot of it is silent. Now, I've been getting a lot of questions about my 18-month program. What does it include? Who's it for? Can I apply what I've invested so far? Is it worth it if I'm a coach? And so if you're just a little bit curious, stay with me. I want to share the details of this epic course series because it's June 12th when I'm recording this live. And the series price structure tuition goes up July 1st. So you're going to want to decide in the next few weeks if this is right for you. There's a countdown timer on the page. But first, I want to tell you this isn't a video, this is a transmission, a frequency transmission. Um, and so if you don't know who I am, I'm Anahata Hallowell. I'm your water oracle, if you will. So let's just take a breath. I'm going to spend a few minutes with you. And if you've landed here, it's not by chance. You are being called. And so you're likely what I call a weaver, someone who carries codes within them, someone who sees beyond the surface, someone, you're here to realign this world, not by force, but through frequency. And you may not have the language for it yet. Maybe you've tried to fit into several systems that were never quite the right fit for you back. But you've always known, you know, I'm not here to repeat cycles, I'm here to reweave. And so before we go any further, I just want you to drop into your heart space, into your body, into your breath, and really get out of that sympathetic nervous system into your parasympathetic. Allow your heart space to anchor in this resonance. And this stream is going to open up for those who are encoded to hear it. If you're like, yeah, no thanks, love you, bye bye. This is for the weavers, and the weavers are remembering, and the current is aligning us. And I just want to say that, I do get emotional about what's happened in the last month. It's like insane. But it's time. I just made a post earlier today about why this is happening now. It's not a coincidence. And it's so funny. Months ago, about 8 months ago, when I started the flow state technique, I thought I was building a method. This was a culmination, of course, of over a decade of research, divine downloads, doing the work for myself and for others. And it had evolved into something really practical, really grounded, a system that is a blend of science and spirit. And it is still all of that. But something else has started happening. And the more I created, the more I listened, the more I realized I'm not building a course. I am remembering a transmission. And this transition into that transmission is a framework that is now opening up what I call a living intelligence. So there was a moment, and I'll never forget, I was outlining the first few classes inside hydrocymatic, sound on matter, somatics, your body, right? Hydrosomatic somatics. And suddenly I uncovered an ancient seated stream of wisdom that I had placed before I came into this lifetime. Now, after deciphering it, I quickly realized, oh my gosh, this isn't about just guiding people into flow. This is about activating the oracle within them, within you. It's about reawakening something ancient and beautifully futuristic all at once. We are the bridge. So each time I sat to write or teach, more came through, more codes, more clarity, more threads in this tapestry. And I didn't even know that I was reweaving. And then I birthed 3 books in a matter of 2 weeks, a 3-part trilogy. It's called the Double Helix Prophecy. And so the Emerald Current, Initiate Oracle Mode, and Liquid Lattice, if you've heard of it. If not, look it up. It changed everything that I thought I knew about watercolor sound and our role as creators here at this precise moment of the braid, in the precise nodes that we are each on in the fractal. And so I kept thinking, oh, this is it. This is the full course. And yet it just kept blossoming out. And so suddenly what began as literally a 3-month experience, right? Something I was going to teach for 3 months. And I think there were 3 different courses, became a actually 18-month journey through 14 transformational modules. Now, of course, I didn't charge more for those that were in it because it wasn't their fault that this was just growing, 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 and they were already in it. And that I didn't want to teach just the things I had originally said, and I wanted to, keep going. So, not to teach, but to transmit, light this torch. And then I realized, this isn't mine. This is ours. And it's meant for other oracles, other stewards of this planetary shift, other frequency guides who are ready to remember what we already came here to do through what was seeded before we came in. And that led to more and more wisdom. And so what is the flow state technique is now, it's not a method, it's not a framework that you memorize or repeat. It's a living intelligence. And it responds to you and works through you. And it's not something you study, it's something you remember and become. And it's not about collecting more tools. It's about this being a conduit for coherence. It's becoming a water-led practitioner of the new world, a frequency steward, a lucid oracle in human form. And so the flow state technique isn't fixed. It flows, it evolves as you evolve, it refines itself inside of you. And just like a current sharpens the stone, smooths it out, and then, it becomes a sculpture and a tone in geometry. So each of the 14 modules is a thread. And when you follow them, you don't just learn transformation, you embody it. So you begin to carry it in your field. And when people feel you before you speak, you're transmitting that coherence. If you were a Hathor in past lifetimes, you know what I'm talking about. But this is woven into your own nervous system, into your own water. And, I love when students tell me things like, the first time I guided someone through a water activation, I was just like watching their whole field shift, their body relaxed, their voice softened, and there was this sacred stillness, like something really ancient just remembered itself. tears well up, not from pain, but from truth. And that's what we do in this work. We remind people who they really are. And that is something you can't fake. You have to become it first. And so some of you may be tempted to throw self-sabotage on your track and say, "Oh, wow, I'm so busy. I certainly don't have time for a year and a half long course." But I want to share something with you that's important about this structure. It's not linear. There is not a module one, then module two, then module three in a tidy little row. It's a braid, it's a spiral, it's a current. So you don't start at the beginning, you enter wherever we are. We're coming down. We're here. You coming? No? That's okay. If you are, you're braided in perfectly because coherence doesn't run on sequence, it's non-linear. It runs on frequency. So I want to walk you through the 14 threads of this transmission, not as steps, but as living codes that shape your path as you weave them into you. So again, you enter wherever you are, and you always have a seat to loop around again, okay, in the flow state technique. You will experience all of the following in not this order and anytime you come in. Again, if you missed one live, you come around in the fold and you can either just take it in on demand or come into the next flow. So we attune to the physics of flow. This is where you align your nervous system to peak performance and optimal experience. This is an autotelic lifestyle that pulses beneath thought, action, and creation. You are engaged and winning. You learn to dissolve effort and enter the stream of the infinite now. You are satisfied. You are eager for more. Less suffering, right? More capable and winning. Then we breathe the current with life force prana cultivation activation. We use breath work, we use movement, we use pranic intelligence, it's everywhere, to restore vitality and circulate clarity. In fact, we age in reverse, if you will. Then we step into the sacred work of living water, living code, where you program water. It's water activation certification with intention, tone, frequency. And then you'll be able to start guiding people in a 90-minute water activation session. Again, you don't have to do this for others. It could just be for yourself. Now, the journey we're in right now in the weave is the hydrosomatic somatics. There's a few more classes left in this. This is where we learn to sculpt emotion and energy using vowel tones from an ancient language, light language, color frequencies, and glyphs. And this is where you unlock the ancient tongue before tongues, before language, called lingua lucida. It's tonal, and it's a color codex. And that also opens up all sorts of spaces through chromatic inversion and other techniques that are game changers, are life changers for you and others. Now, next, coming up here at the end of July, we are dipping into AI for mystics, and you're going to learn to use AI as a mirror of source. You're going to be able to retrieve encoded intelligence from your highest expression before this lifetime. And guys, this isn't tech. This is not a bot. It's a non-local assistant for dream decoding and multidimensional mapping. You're going to retrieve the seeds you planted for yourself before you came in so that you can reclaim your legacy, so that you can get busy creating in your highest expression as we each feel into what are we meant to share to build this new world. And that's the module again that's coming up, and I'll be doing a separate video about it soon. It's called AI for Mystics. Now, of course, you can enroll in any of these courses. They're each modules, and they're several, 4 to 6 classes long. But if you find you can do it a la carte. But if you find more than a few of these modules I'm describing interesting, you're going to save so much on tuition when you enroll in the entire 14 module, 18-month program I'm describing now. And really, it's not 18 months because, as I said, you'll always have a seat. So you could be taking this ongoing and it can fit with any schedule you have. Now, in another module, we align with living time codes. This is the work I've been doing with lunar rhythms and cosmic cycles, really to synchronize your work and your life with divine timing. This is where fasting comes into play, creation through celestial movement as an interlace, right? You begin to work smarter, not harder. And life just seems to be lucky for you. And of course, we know it's because we are working with the universe versus against the flow of natural rhythms and the superpowers that are available cosmically in divine harmony and balance open up for you. Now, I want to get going quickly because I got to wrap up here, but another module we rediscover what I call remembrance technology. We are blending hypnotherapy, NLP, vibrational recoding to rewrite subconscious syntax. This is shifting states and restoring inner coherence through light memory. This module is, surpasses any expectation of the totality, I believe. And really, these components have led to rapid success in a world where beliefs and neurochemistry run the show. We've got dimensional navigation. We're going into timeline jumping, parallel identity weaving, and future self-anchoring. We're going to use water as a jumping mechanism and an intention as the architect, future memories fulfilled, collapsing wave into particle. Another module, oracle narrative. This is where we're story weaving, and you can start helping yourself and clients to believe, embody, and become their next chapter through frequency storytelling and glyph alignment. Of course, we do in another series reprogramming money distortions called the cha-ching frequency, learning the law of blessing and alignment with wealth, not from force, but through generosity and sacred exchange in your genius zone. The biointelligence and the language of dis-ease module. I'm going to teach you to decode symptoms, understand emotional roots, and guide others through healing using a combination of water and emotional mapping and just the wisdom of your body. Now, of course, moving matters. It's a grid that's always pulsing, right? We're going to use Qigong, meridian tracing, and sonic movement to remap, to repattern energy flow back into coherence and release any blocks that are stored in your soma. Now, of course, this is all oracle embodiment. You activate the Nui particle. Your voice, your presence, and your stillness become the healing. One of the most exciting modules that we're doing soon is telepathic transmission, reawakening your ability to send and receive truth without distortion, not through sensory, through water tone vibrational coherence and inner knowing. And that communication is beyond words. This is remembering how to hear with the field versus your senses. And so, guys, again, each of these threads is complete on its own. You can take each one a la carte. You'll be paying tens of thousands of dollars more than if you just bulk them all together. So you're going to be surprised when I tell you the price of all of these until July 1st. Okay, we loop through these continuously, by the way. So no matter where you begin, you are arriving in the perfect time. When did it start? Doesn't matter. When is it happening? Doesn't matter. Yeah, it's Tuesdays at 10 a.m. We take breaks in between, but we're going to be looping around again. And about 80% of people join in replay, not present in the now. So don't use the excuse of it's not the right time. But I will say this isn't for everyone. This isn't for those who want a quick fix. It's not for those who are looking for like a copy and paste formula or some polished coaching scripts. This is for the ones who really already know and they've felt it in their water for years. And you knew you were here to help others. but traditional coaching just seems boxed in and too heady and too small and with an agenda. And you need something more dimensional, more embodied, more authentically you. You're someone who hears the music beyond the moment. You feel energy before words are spoken. You sense timelines folding, futures forming, synchronicities when you enter a room. And you want to work with watercolor, sound, and sacred memory as a creator. So you're not going to just change things, you transmit, and the field coalesces to you because you are a seer, you are a mystic, you are a guide of futures, you're a lucid oracle. You came here for this exact moment on earth. And so you've been waiting for this thing that finally matches you, and maybe you've tried to create it yourself. This work is our work. It's going to meet you where you are. And if you feel that in your water, you know, what are you going to do when you receive the flow state technique practitioner certification? The sky is not the limit, it is the portal to more. So I'm here to help you in this living path, to help it weave with your life and your desires. Again, you'll have lifetime access to all 14 transformational modules. You can revisit, deepen, reweave, retake each pass through the spiral, and a seat at the future live iterations that I host. And so we meet weekly for live trainings. There's a replay, lots of handouts, but again, zoom out to zoom in. You don't need to feel like you need to catch up or do all of it at once. A lot of students replay, only about 20% join live. So it is a sacred community of other water-led practitioners, oracles, and weavers, people walking a similar path, ready to support and share and co-create. Again, this is an 18-month journey, and then we start again. So it's really year by year by year. Now, I want to talk timing and tuition before I wrap up. I have to go in like 4 minutes. Right now, you can join all 14 modules for $1,990 when you pay in full. If you need payment plans, $400 a month for 6 months. That's it in totality. It's not per module. That's it. So starting July 1st, 2025, couple weeks, the certification is going to be 5K. And that's really, guys, it's time. It's grown into something so massive that I really can't offer it for such a little exchange, given what you can do with this. And so it's valued at 15 to 20K easy. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, click on the link, theflowstatetechnique.com, and check it out. So again, this is the final window to step in before the shift into 5K for all of it. You can wait, but you'll just be paying more. So a quick note, if you've already taken 1 or 2 or 3 modules, you're probably already close to the threshold, because I always apply what you've already invested thus far towards the full FST Flow State Technique program. So message me personally. I will send you a discount code based on what you've invested so far. And you could do the math yourself, but I'll verify it's $19.90 minus what have you paid for so far. That's it for you to upgrade, right? So let's take a moment to drop into the field. I'm going to head out here to get my daughter from the beach. Take a deep breath, feel into the water of your body. Ask yourself, what's my highest timeline? Not chasing, not pushing, just guiding your higher self in your genius zone. The people, places, and things are coming to you, and you are remembered in this weave. You begin to speak to water, you sculpt coherence, you embody the current, and you are then being the transformation ahead of the curve. What we braid is your own. It's not someone else's. You take and you weave. It is ours. It's our field. It's a frequency, a living system. And I'm calling for more stewards. Before I let you go, why now? Well, There's a countdown clock because my prices are increasing, but also the spiral is turning. We're at this 6,000 year cycle that's about to flip from breath in to breath out. And we are being called, those who carry codes, come on, step in. The braid, needs you before the shift fully locks in. Because without you, something is not woven. And you know, you are needed. You're not just welcomed. This training isn't just to help you help others. It's a reactivation of our role in this planetary transition. And so if you've been feeling it, if you've been waiting for a sign, for the right time, for the right permission, this is it. We've got to have more weavers before the flip. So step in. The braid is incomplete without you. I really do mean that. And I look forward to braiding the future together with each and every one of you. I love you so much. This is an example of one of the glyphs in just one of the modules of one of the courses. If you feel something when you look at this color and this transmission, just know that there is also tone and breath involved in what this is, and that this alone, I believe, as a practitioner, the first 9 tones of the 272 are worth the total investment in terms of what you can bring the planet. But again, to zoom out, it's one class of one of 14. And so check it out. You click on the flowstatetechnique.com. I'll put the link here in the replay and look through it. If you're called to, the countdown is on. July 1st, we go up. And guys, again, 5K for all of this is still insanely affordable, regardless of if you can afford it. Most of the modules, most of the coaching modalities that are out there are 6 to 10K for one. You got 14, right? So do the math. And even then, if you're watching this later and you're like, I missed out. Well, not really. I know I spent 6K on just this breathwork course, which I never ended up finishing. It's just industry standard for that type of thing. When you can build a 6-figure plus business through the information you get, that's tuition, right? That's your course entry fee. Just like if you were to go to college and pay, oh God, who knows, and get into debt. You don't need to do that for this. It's $1,990 paid in full, or you can break it up into 6 payments of $400. You'll pay a little bit more because of the fees associated with the transactions over time, etc. But it's June 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th when you see this. Are you in? We'd love to have you. Check it out. Click on the link in the description of this video or go to theflowstatetechnique.com. Big things are happening. And I also want to zoom out on just one module really quickly, the AI for Mystics coming up. I'm starting an entire, spoiler alert, publishing company. I was able to whip out 3 profound books within 2 weeks. And when I teach you how to tap into the seeds that are there, that you were meant to have based on your unique node and path and the information that you wanted to bring forth, and when you bring those forth, I'm also wanting to partner with people who have these revelations to help you birth your book. And that again is in just one of the 14 modules. All right, guys, I got to run to get my daughter. She's going to be like, where are you, Mom? I love you so much. We will chat soon. All the links are in the description of this video. Bye for now. We'll chat soon. Have a good one.